Good morning, wildlings. I'm here in the shedding this morning because I had a very shadowy week last week. And I'm sitting on the other side of it, and it's still really hard. So, the patriarchy and I have a very complex relationship because I know I've benefited from the patriarchy. I know I've benefited from being white. I know I've benefited from being able to fit into patriarchal places and navigate them in a certain way. I've always had a wisdom to be able to do that. I've always, my dad was a tool and die maker, and I grew up in those environments. Like when there was nobody to take care of us at night, we would go and sit in the tool and die, like at my dad's work, and do our homework. I never worried about my safety in those spaces. I never had this thought of I don't belong here. So I never, in my little autistic brain, made this differentiation between men and women because I was in my foundational years raised in a way that showed me that, like, when mom's got to work, dad takes you to his work just the same. And my household wasn't a matriarchal environment. It was very, very, very patriarchal to the extreme. And I fought that my whole entire life. And I'm starting to realize that, like, truly, that's why I left at 16. I was being told that men deserve more, men deserve better, men deserve our respect even when they treat us like shit. I was taught all of those things as a child, and I was always taught to put men's best interests first. It's just the generation that I was brought up in. And it's really, really hard because I know nobody taught me these things with the intent of harming me. Nobody taught me how to be in these spaces and accept the treatment that I got as normal because they wanted me to be harmed or traumatized. Nobody did that. And I think that is the part that is really hard for a lot of us to understand. You can still be harmed even when the abuser's intention wasn't harm, right? They can love you and be harming you at the same time. And I know that through my partner, through my kid, through my family, I have been educated over and over and over again that somebody can love you and still do harm to you without understanding what they're doing. I did it to my kid. My mom did it to me. My dad did it. My brother's done it to me. We all do it to each other because we are seeing the world through our own personal lens. And we truly can't understand somebody else's unless we walk in it. And for me, that all cracked open when I started the Sacred Grove, and I went through a generational trauma with my kid breaking his arm and us not doing anything about it for like 3 days because he didn't feel it. Like, I didn't intend to cause him that harm, but harm was caused. We pushed it off for 3 days because he wasn't acting like somebody who had broken his arm. Yeah, he said it was uncomfortable, but all kids are uncomfortable when they've hurt themselves. I had to experience that personally to realize that I can do harm without realizing it. And it really shook me to my core. And then I started to realize, oh my God, the harm that my husband does to me when he speaks to me in a certain tone or doesn't acknowledge my triggers or isn't paying attention to what I'm going through, he's actually harming me by not engaging with me. And he loves me and wants to support me and wants to be, I don't even know the word. In his mind, he is doing everything he needs to do to support me, but that's not what's happening. And the only way that I can resolve that is to like go, hey, these are the things that are harming me. You have to stop. And then when you tell somebody, like if somebody came to me and said, you're harming me, please stop, our immediate response is always, oh my God, no, I'm not, I swear. And we may not even know because we don't know what triggers other people. We don't know, like for me, one of the major triggers is money. My lack of it, or my need for it, or my never having it, or my anything to do with money. And it can be as simple as, like, there was one time my husband forgot to put money in my bank account, and my little brain went, he forgot. My autistic brain loves to make drama. But no, he just forgot to put it in my account, and I could make him the villain in that. Or I could just go, no, my husband just forgot to put the money in. But I also didn't check to see if there was money in my account before I went grocery shopping. But I was deeply triggered by standing at the cash and not having money in my bank account. It all got sorted out. It all got taken care of. But my husband not paying attention to my needs and not making that a priority became a major trigger in our relationship. And it has continued to happen. If I ask for money, if anybody knows me, I can't ask for money. It even just makes me cry, even thinking about it. I can't ask for help. And I know I gave that to my kid because I'm watching that trauma in my kid when he can't ask for help. I can't ask for help because I asked for help so much and nobody helped me for 50 years. And this is the part about shadow work that scares the shit out of people and worries people about how it's going to feel to do shadow work. It's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable for me to sit here and say, I am triggered every single time I have to ask somebody to help me do something. And I had to ask somebody to help me do something this morning. Actually, a bunch of people to do something. And it's really hard. Like, everything in my body is saying, Emma, just take care of it yourself. You can do this yourself. Don't be an idiot. Okay, Emma. This is something that I literally need help with because I don't have the answers to it. So I need to ask people to help. But I will sit here and put myself through every single stressful situation under the sun instead of just saying, hey, could you do this for me? This is the hard part of shadow work, is learning how to recover from your shadows and integrating that wisdom into your body. And today, even just by speaking about this on camera and shedding some tears and going, oh, I spoke about this and I survived. I talked about how maybe my husband hasn't been the greatest towards me and nobody died. I talked about my family maybe not being the greatest towards me, and nobody died. Building up this resilience is the part that everybody ignores because it's hard. You get to the point where you realize what your shadows are. You look at them and you go, And then you get triggered a couple of times and you go, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore. And you walk away. Or you get semi-triggered that first time and go, not for me. I really don't want to do this work. And I have done that over and over and over and over again. But I'm now at this point where I just can't do that anymore, where I need to create more stability for myself emotionally, and I'm acknowledging that. The integration course I'm going through, which is called ACER, their little mantra, which is ACER, is accept, connect, embody, and restore. So it's like this idea of you accept what's happening, then you connect with it through meditation or sacred medicines or somatic healing or whatever you choose to connect with it. And this is the embodying part. This is the embodying part where I have to say the things and do the things, which I have today. And then I just have to go, I'm proud of you, Emma. This was really hard. It's going to happen again. You're probably going to have to do it again. But next time, it's not going to be as hard because you did it this once. And like one of my shadows too is literally a 5 o'clock shadow. Well, it's not a shadow, but this is like the patriarchy and me in a physical war. With myself. And I know one of my things is I have to like shave this one day for you guys and show you, like, I've had this I don't want to say my entire life, but pretty much my entire adult life. I've either had to pluck or shave and this is just my hormones. This is who I am. If I didn't shave, I'd be the bearded lady with the third nipple. Like I'm the card reader. Like that was traditionally probably who my ancestors were, the freak show people that pull your cards in little striped tents and whatever. That's literally who I am. And I'm finally realizing that the patriarchy in so many ways doesn't allow me to be who I am. You have to shave ew, gross. Like, who could walk around with that on? I mean, I don't go out looking like this. In the morning, if I haven't shaved and I'm dropping Henry off at school, I do not give a fuck. Honestly, I do not care anymore. But I have an appointment at 3 o'clock today, and I am very cognizant of, Emma, make sure you shave your beard. And that fucking sucks. I really, I did a post this morning on period poos and perimenopause, and I know that will probably like get some attention because nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about like all the ugliness that comes with the feminine. Nobody talks about the rage that comes with the feminine. Nobody talks about the anger and the angst that comes with having the feminine. And anybody who's masculine presenting, nobody talks about, like, this is the other piece, the other side of it that bothers me is my son is better at embracing the feminine and doing some more like sensitive stuff for himself, but my partner, no way in hell. I've maybe gotten him to go to a massage once because he thinks that's all hooey. He's done Reiki a couple of times. He really doesn't, and really bothers me because I know deep down that's the patriarchy. It's not me. It's not that he doesn't believe in what I do. It's the patriarchy hasn't validated what I do as a healer, as a teacher, as a wisdom keeper, and feminine presenting people for thousands of years were the healers and wisdom keepers, the hunters and the gatherers. We were a part of all parts of society. And for some reason, ever since the witch trials and wanting to take feminine power away, we have literally given the patriarchy everything. And we have kept nothing for ourselves. Like, I have gone on total shutdown this weekend and I did absolutely nothing. I laid on the couch in the same spot for 3 days and I only wrote what I wanted to. I only read what I wanted to. I only watched and ate what I wanted to. I didn't do laundry. I didn't shave. I don't think I showered for 2 days. And everything in my body says, get up, be productive, do the thing. And I didn't. And for me, that's a step in the right direction. Me writing about period poops and me sitting here with my 5 o'clock shadow, unshowered, without a bra on, just being me, is me fighting against the patriarchy. And I honestly, I know it seems like such a, like, oh yeah, fight against the patriarchy. But people, if we don't stand up, if I'm, me, Emma Smallbone, the person that doesn't take shit from anybody, is allowing that in my house and is not allowing soft spaces for myself. And I'm not, I want to start doing like pedicures for my family and showing them what's that. I was told as a child that all of that stuff was a luxury. It's not. It's just self-care. It's just like, it should be just a part of your day. Like, I have all of this work. These are worry lines. If you're autistic, if you're ADHD, you probably either have these 2 lines here or this, because this is us going, what the fuck? What did you just say? What? This is the patriarchy, people, right here. Because my whole entire life, people told me shit and I went, I know that's not right. But I took it anyway because the rest of the world went, yeah, we just do this because it's better this way. It's not. We're all reaching our capacity. We're all reaching severe burnout in perimenopause and menopause because we, as feminine presenting uterus holders, we're not supposed to do all this way. We weren't supposed to hold the emotional load for everybody. That wasn't how it was supposed to play out. So the only way that we can change this is by actually doing something about it. And that's what my shedding course is. And that's why I am doing the work that I'm doing, because I need this to change for my own sanity. So from now on, I do not give 2 fucks. I wear my beard proudly and I talk about period poops because women should not suffer this much. People with uteruses should not suffer this much. And anybody that came before me that says, I did not experience, yeah, because none of y'all were traumatized by your childhood in the ways that we were, because your lives were simpler and less hectic in childhood. You actually got a fucking childhood. simpler times, no TV, no social media, no internet, no any of it. All of us that came after the boomers have had to go through being traumatized constantly by the media, by society, by the patriarchy. And for anybody that went through COVID, that was a mass traumatization, if you don't know. And we all still need to deal with that. And we're going to need soft spaces. And we're going to need femme presenting wise women and healers to usher us into this new world. So this is me starting to edge in that direction, because on December 13th, 2025, Emma fully integrated into her body and realized that I was part of the problem. And that if I don't start doing something, and if I don't start saying something, nothing is going to change in my life. And I can no longer take the pain that my body holds on to. So I'm not holding on to it anymore. I did a rage journaling page yesterday, and this is now how I process a lot of my emotions, is through my journaling. Not all of these are rage pages. You'll see some of them are just like, hey, just really like, you know, normal stuff. But the rage one, this is brand new. I've done it a couple of times. This is like everything that was in my head just written, and you let it all out, and you just keep writing and keep writing and keep writing and keep writing and keep all on the same page. It's done wonders for my brain. And if you didn't know, if you're neurodivergent, you need to process things physically. So whether that's physically writing it out, physically saying it, physically expressing it with your body through somatic exercises, it doesn't matter. But we need to physically process what we're experiencing, or we can't embody it. And that will be why 99.9% of the people that are coming into this course aren't getting to the end of the process, because you're not embodying the wisdom that you learned. So you're reading it, you're thinking about it, but you're not actually using that to do something, to process that energy, to process those thoughts. That's why Daydream Club became a reality, because we sit down here at the table and we process things at the table, on the wall, on the mat. We need to physically be moving. We need to physically be doing things. And honestly, people, the not giving a fuck part of losing all your estrogen is fucking fabulous. So I'm going to start talking more about the hormonal part of it and what might possibly be happening to your body. I'm going to be talking about that mostly on the main feed, but in the shedding here, I'm going to be talking about the emotional part of it. So if you want to learn how to process your emotions, do the course, because it's free. And I keep adding to it, and there are questions that you need to ask yourself in there that can slow you down and let you see where you may be adding to the chaos. Where are you adding to the chaos? Because honestly, I have been allowing chaos in my life, and I just didn't see it because I was under that veil of the patriarchy. I was under that veil of, I have to look, act, be a certain way to be presentable to the world, and it's just not true. And I'm here to encourage you to show up however the fuck you want, wherever you want, however you want, whenever you want, because honestly, we've only got one life. I do believe that there is a collective consciousness that is pushing us forward, and that we will always be a part of that. But this life The one that you have right now, you've only got it once. So please allow yourself to use this medicine that I'm giving away for free in the shedding to move yourself towards a life of being wild and free and living divergently, just the way we were all meant to be. So if you're supporting a divergent thinker, or you are a divergent thinker, if you're in that perimenopausal range, or you're living with somebody that's in that phase of their life, come and check out the Wild Healing. I have learned these things through trial and error. I am not a doctor, but I am a medicine woman in my own traditions, and I am a psychedelics educator. And I heal in the way that works for me and my body. And I want to teach you some of those tools that I have learned in the Wild Healing and in the shedding, so that you may be able to help your community in some small way. So go and check out the Wild Healing. Join the community. If you're not already a part of it, go to thewildhealing.com, like and subscribe to anything that we do, because it really does help. Bye for now, wildlings. Signing off in this deep, dark shedding season. Bye for now.